A multisensory approach to pre-teaching vocabulary. My name is Georgina Brant and I am from CATS. It is important not to make any assumptions that children know the meaning of even simple words. If they haven't experienced it, they will not necessarily understand it. I have worked with Year 1 children who, for example, have heard of the word park and seaside, but had no direct experience. For them, these were familiar words, but held no semantic links for them. Children come from different backgrounds with different experiences and range of vocabulary. It's not just pre-teaching topic or keywords, but unfamiliar words, and in so doing, this will open the door to a more confident learner. We will take a look at a strategy of the multisensory approach, but it does incorporate word aware. If you want to know more about word aware, please refer to the books by Anna Brannigan and Stephen Parsons. To be able to use words successfully, we not only have to learn how to say them, and that in itself can be a challenge, but we need to understand them. We need then to categorize them, to retain them, and then retrieve them appropriately. Why pre-teach vocabulary? That's simple in itself, because the meaning of words and the use of them is in written and verbal form, and that encompasses all aspects of school learning and in the society we live in. But who should this be directed to? Again, very simple. That could be abled learners. It could be those with English as an additional language and those with additional needs as well. In other words, everybody would benefit from pre-teaching. How to pre-teach using this approach? It's very successful as a whole class. It could be in a group. Later on, we will see how the authors of Word Aware suggest categorizing keywords or topic words and then being able to identify if there is a group that would benefit, a group of children in your class that would benefit from group work or one-to-one. You could also get parents involved. The key is to have fun. When would be the best time to pre-teach these words? Is there a best time? Possibly not. Early morning, first session in the afternoon, as long as it's in advance of the lesson, as long as you can create opportunities to rehearse the words, reinforce the words and revisit them before they come up in the lesson. Ideally, only one new word should be taught at a time. And the only rule is not to pre-teach opposites together. For example, not to pre-teach hot and cold in the same session. Vocabulary is most definitely key, and creating a vocabulary-rich environment will enhance confidence and will open the door to learning. As mentioned previously, Word Aware encourages the division of topic words into 3 categories. The first one is anchor words. Now these words encompass everyday language. These require pre-teaching in small groups and cement the phonological, semantic and grammatical elements before moving on to the Goldilocks words. Whereas the Goldilocks words are words that are more topic specific, although likely to be encountered again. In other words, it's useful language. Whereas step-on words, these are useful to have an awareness of when you're learning the topic, but they'll not necessarily be encountered in everyday language. This does take a little thought to begin with, but once you get your head around these different categories, it does become easier. Step 1 of pre-teaching topic words or key vocabulary. Explain the aim of the session and link it to the topic or your learning. Display the word. I'm using the example of equator. Questions you can ask, for example, do they recognize the word? Can they read the word? Looking at the phonological components. If they recognize the word, can they make semantic links? Can they give you a definition? What do they know about the word? Get as much information from them as possible. Continuing with step 1, praise all efforts. You may need to provide a definition or maybe create one together. So the equator is an imaginary line around the middle of our planet. But for those where it's a new word, it's too abstract. You need to display and share images to aid and reinforce understanding. You need to bring the word to life using artifacts, video clips where appropriate. Contextualize and link to the class topic. Model using in a sentence and ask for further examples to demonstrate understanding. So the imaginary line of the equator goes around the middle of the earth. Can you use the word equator in a sentence? Step 2, time to create some drama. The fun begins. Discuss and create an action to link the word to a visual prompt. So using your hands, using the actions, what can we do as a class, as a group, or in a one-to-one that's going to help us remember the word equator? What actions can we use? Discuss it. Let the children take ownership. Once you've done this, you need to constantly reinforce each step before moving forward. What word are we learning? Remind me how to use it in a sentence. It rhymes with. Step 3, time to make further phonological links. Looking not only just what sound it begins with, but how many syllables, how many claps does it have? Some children, it might be the first time you're introducing them to syllables, or those that struggle with segmenting into syllables, you can direct them to use the hand-chin method. That's easy. If you've never done it before, you take your hand, flat hand, palms down, place it under your chin. You say the word. So if we say the word equator, equator, how many times has your chin moved down to touch your hand? That will be the number of syllables. So again, straight hand, gently place it under your chin as the little girl is in the photograph. Say any word, and each time your chin touches your hand will tell you how many claps or how many syllables. So once you've done this, again, reinforce. Don't forget, use the action prompt to use the action, see if they can say the word. Finally, the word aware wrap. Once you've completed the previous steps, you can then display the wrap, starting from the beginning, to point to it. So all together, say the word equator. Display the word so they can read it, pointing to the next one down, read the word equator. Third one down, pointing to that, act the word. Everybody acts the word, the action that you've created. Moving down, clap the word equator. Love this one. Next one down, shout the word equator. Whisper the word equator. When you've done all this, you can then, if it's in the class, randomly go around and ask them to use it in a sentence. These are some suggestions, some activities that may help reinforce learning. The first one is the classic pairs game. On two separate pieces of card or paper, one has the word, the other the definition with the picture. Face down on the table, they turn one over, say they have they pick the definition, they then got to find the word, or they might turn over the word, they got to find the definition. With the same cards, what you can do is have the words face down in a pile in front of by the teacher's desk or in front of the whiteboard, and the definitions can be stuck randomly around the classroom or on the door or somewhere in the classroom. They turn taking, come up, turn a card over. They have to read the word, then they need to go and find that definition and bring it back to the front, and then it's somebody else's turn. With the same cards, you can play snap. So as you turn the card over, if they come across the word and the definition, it's a snap. I'm sure you can think of far more as well. It may be an idea, it's very useful to create vocabulary topic books. So this is just an example of a layout, and the children have to make these books. So you can provide the images, you can give them the list of words, and they have to complete the rest. So they have to match the word with the image. They have to, depending on the level of the child, you can either give them the definition or they can write it themselves. Then they have to say how many syllables, what sound it starts with, what it rhymes with. Then they have to write it in a sentence. So you can have, as I say, each topic can have its own vocabulary book. So as they're working, it can be a reminder and a support. This idea is taken from Word Aware, the star word. So it's got a start and a finish point, but you can go round and round until it's reinforced. So you simply follow it through. So you say the word, look at a picture of it, clap it, rhyme it, make the sound it starts with, define it, put it in a sentence, act it out, and then put it on the wall. The classic lolly sticks and word pot. You can put the words on lolly sticks, and without them knowing which one they've picked, they pull one out, read it, put it, and then they can put it in a sentence. They can recall the action, the rhyming, all the things that they've done previously, or they can just pick out the words from a word pot. Again, read it and go through the same thing again. What does it rhyme with? What sound is it? What definition? And so on. These all help to reinforce. You can pick and choose, and it depends again on the level of the children how many of these reinforcers are required. The working wall is a great idea. So you have your key vocabulary velcroed or blue tacked onto a working wall, a topic wall. So as the children are working, they can go up to the wall, pull them off, bring them down, copy the spelling if need be. You could have one for the definitions and one for the wall, it depends. So it's something that they can remove and use rather than just displayed on the wall, which is far away from them. You can play the game like Splat the Word. Brilliant. Fly swatters, you can use those 50p a pound each or whatever from the pound shop. You can play a game, a fast action game. You say the word, they have to splat it. You say the word, they have to splat the definition. So they go up and hit it with the fly swatter. So if you want them to say, if you say the word and you want them to give the definition, they splat the definition. If you want them to find the word, they splat the word. Something again that they all enjoy doing. Thank you for listening. I hope you've all been able to take something away from this presentation. But please remember, with the pre-teaching of the vocabulary, you can use the action prompt. As you're presenting the lesson, you can use the action prompt to help prompt them to recall it. You can perhaps use the claps to help them recall it. But most importantly, have fun together.